What's going on, y'all? It's your man Pristine back with another video. Welcome to the full Pristine review for the Google Pixel 3 XL. Those of you that follow my channel heavily, watch these reviews heavily, you know the order of business. Let's dive right in. Those of you that are new to the channel, thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed this video. Alright, now, one of the most important things to talk about, price. 64 gig version here. Pixel 3 XL, $899. All right, you got 2 gigabyte variants, 64 gig and 128 gig. The 128 gig variant is going to cost you $999. So depending on which gigabyte variant you get, you will pay $1,000 plus. Because once they hit you with them taxes, you're gonna be over $1,000. Now, are these phones worth this amount of money? Things that make you go, Stay tuned, and I'll give you the answer to that toward the latter part of the video. Now, cover the price, the specs. You already know what it is, man. Latest 2018 specs, Snapdragon 845 processor, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of non-expandable storage. Octa-core CPU, Adreno 630, Android Pie, fresh out of the box. So we're running the latest operating system, which is definitely a good thing. But I kind of get the sense that with Android Pie, although there are some new additions, I feel like there's certain things that just make me feel like no idea is original, right? No original ideas. And, I'm not really too big of a fan of Google's approach or just the Android software veering more towards the whole gesture-based idea. You know what I mean? It seems like a direct copycat of what Apple is doing. And I understand these companies, somebody has started, make it hot, and then everybody follows suit. Look at the notch, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? Before, that wasn't something that we could have foreseen, and the Essential phone did it. Then Apple did it. Now everybody's doing it. You know what I mean? And so it just kind of leads me to believe, like, what's going to happen next? You know what I mean? Well, we're seeing some of these all-display phones starting to roll out, and so hopefully that's going to be the next generation of phones. Definitely looking forward to getting my hands on some of those. But I feel like, Android should stay true to Android. You know what I mean? Or at least give us an option to choose between the gestures, which a lot of other OEMs do. But the Pixel approach this time around is this whole device is going to be gesture based. You don't even have the ability to get the capacitive keys at the bottom. Correct me if I'm wrong. If somebody knows how to do that, please drop the information in the description or in the comments, and I'll definitely make whatever changes to the video that need to be made to make sure that I'm not misleading individuals. So I wasn't really too keen on that. But as far as the specs, they're right up there with the top of the line 2018 phones that have been coming out. Now interestingly enough, Google decided to stick with 4 gigs of RAM as opposed to moving to 6 or 8, which a lot of phones seem to be going that particular route. But hey, I guess Google was like, hey, 4 gigs of RAM is all that we need in order for this phone to do everything that you're going to need it to do. So, if they didn't need to make that jump in the RAM department, then why do it? And this phone, it flies. It is buttery smooth. As you can see, scrolling up and down through applications, not a problem at all whatsoever. Now, again, I don't know. I'm still just trying to adjust the Pi and its adjustments. Can't say that I'm a fan of certain things, right? But those are the specs right there. Now, the build quality I like. I think the phone is solid. Corning Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and the back, which definitely makes this phone Qi enabled, which is very, very nice to have. Just having the ability to throw this phone on a wireless charger, even though you've got the Type-C connector right there, obviously the Type-C connector port is going to charge faster than sticking it on a wireless charger. But if you've ever had a wireless charger before and you've used it on a consistent enough basis, you know how convenient it is. It's very convenient just to put your phone on a stand and it sits up just like it's sitting on this phone stand. And while it's charging, you can navigate your phone, you can text message, you can do whatever you need to do, check your social media sites, you can watch video content, if you just want to, turn it sideways like this. And this would be great for that because it's got those dual front-facing speakers, which is also a major plus. But having wireless charging is definitely a bit of a game changer, and it's just one of those luxuries that you have that once you have it, it's kind of hard to go back. You know what I mean? Like I can't really imagine rocking with a phone at this point without wireless charging, except if it's one device in my mind can get away with not having wireless charging, and it is right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Pocophone F1 by Xiaomi. Stay tuned because the full Pristine review is coming for that video as well. People have been talking about, oh, that's the OnePlus killer. That's the OnePlus killer because it undercuts the OnePlus in price. What a great value. Well, you're right. To me, in my opinion, the Pocophone F1 is the every phone killer. The every phone killer. So stay tuned for that, and I'll explain a little bit more in great detail of what I mean. Now, performance. Buttery smooth experience. Stock Android. Android 9 Pie. What more do I need to say? As you saw, buttery smooth, no lag. And, now this is something that I'm still trying to get used to. I mean, because to access your recents, again, they took away the home back in the recents key. You no longer have that here. It's not even an option for you to get it on the Pixel 3 XL unless, they push out some type of software update which will enable us to be able to do that. So you got these gestures, and I'm used to gestures being on phones, but this is a little bit of a different feel because in order to get to your recents, you swipe up. Now, if I'm just trying to access my apps, I'm so used to, like on my Note 9 here, I'm so used to just being able to swipe up and there are my apps, right? On the Pocophone, swipe up and there are all my apps. When you just got the ability to just give us a quick swipe up like that, and then when you swipe up on the Google Pixel 3, well, now that happened in one swipe. I don't know how that happened because typically when you swipe up once, then it takes you to your recents. And you can see how fast I'm flipping through the recents, and then to access the applications, and you have to swipe up again. You know what I mean? And so sometimes it kind of feels like a glitch because I forget the fact that, hey, you got to swipe up once to get to your recents and then swipe up again to get to all your applications. Well, sometimes when you swipe up, you see that you do it all in one swoop. Well, I guess if you keep your finger on the screen, okay, so that's the idea. Okay. So if you keep your finger on the screen while you're swiping up, then it just goes by the recents and brings you right to your apps. Before, I was just doing like a quick swipe up and was wondering, okay, how come it's not taking me to my apps? Okay, so there's the remedy for that. So keep your finger on the screen and just swipe all the way up. Now, to some people, that may be an annoyance when you can just easily swipe down from the bottom, which is typically how it was on Oreo. Not really that big of a deal. I'm not going to nitpick over something like that. But for some people, it can be an annoyance. And until I just learned that keeping your finger on it all the way up the screen is what you need to do in order to do it all in one swoop, I mean, that's not really that big of a deal. But like I said, for some of you out there, I mean, that may not be, all that desirable. And again, I mean, this screen is pretty big. I mean, it's a 6.3 inch display. So if you've got small hands like myself, then that's definitely going to be a two-handed operation. You know what I mean? So those of you that are concerned about that, you do have another option if the Pixel 3 is the route you want to go. Just pick up the Pixel 3 rather than the XL because the Pixel 3 is a 5.5 inch display and it's much smaller. It's a little bit narrower and it just feels really good in the hand. Very easy to cuff and grasp that phone with one hand and easy to navigate with one hand as well. So performance, buttery smooth in my personal opinion. Just trying to get used to Android Pie and all of its features and functions. Now the cameras, oh Lord have mercy, the cameras I'm not even going to say much about the cameras other than the fact that they are magnificent. They are just simply and absolutely magnificent. I mean, just, you want the truth? You want the truth? The truth is that this is just the raw, uncut, unadulterated truth. These cameras are the absolute best cameras that you can get on a smartphone today. Okay? Now that, some people may argue that. I feel like the camera, the images that I've shot with this device have to be some of the most consistent. Now, every image isn't always a good image, but the consistency. I mean, you can take this camera and you can point and shoot, and the chances of you getting the exact shot that you want and have it look the way that you want, I'd say about a 96 to 97% chance. Every time it's going to be spot on. And so, you've got all kind of different modes and things. Of course, you've got the 4K recording, only at 30 FPS. It's not the iPhone. The iPhone, reigns supreme and is the champion of video recording on a smartphone because you've got that 4K 60 frames per second recording. I mean, that's very nice with the optical image stabilization. This too has optical image stabilization. But again, you can only record at 30 frames. Some people, that's not really a big deal. For the people that like to have that 4K recording and be able to bump up the frames per second, then you have the ability to do that on the iPhone, but not here on the Pixel 3 or the 3XL. Like I said, to some folks, that may not be that big of a deal. We've got a new mode called, in the burst mode, it takes a bunch of pictures, but then it's kind of like, if somebody blinks, then it will shoot photos like before the blink happened, so you can kind of go back and look at the blink and then go back to the photos that the picture took before the blink happened. And then if the picture that happened before the blink happened was what you want, then you can tap on that and utilize that to be the actual picture for that particular photo that you snapped. That's a crazy feature right there. I mean, the camera has smudge detection. So if the camera sensor detects that there's smudge on the camera and it's going to obscure the vision of the photo, it's going to notify you to, hey man, clean your camera lens, bruh. You want this picture to be crystal clear, pixel quality. You know what I'm saying? You want that pixel approval on this picture. You better take a microfiber cloth or your shirt or your pants or something and clean that smudge. You know what I'm saying? The phone is hella smart. It's a very, very smart device. Another feature, like when somebody's calling you, I'll talk about that a little later in the video for just some of the additional features and things that I've noticed. But the cameras on this phone is ridiculous. Now, there is a dedicated camera video that I did. It's live. Check it out. It's called Google Pixel 3 XL / the camera. I keep it nice and simple, ladies and gentlemen. You know that. Check that video out. There's a bunch of still shot images that I captured. There's video footage that I captured with the front and the rear cameras. Let me know what you guys think about that, and drop your comments in the comment section. You know what I mean? But this camera is absolutely superb. Superb. Now, battery life. Battery life, we've got a 3,430 milliamp hour battery. Battery is decent. It gets me through a full day with no problems. Obviously, with heavier usage, you're going to run through the battery quickly. I mean, so, if you're somebody that's a phone beast, media beast, download, browsing beast, then you might want to keep, some type of portable charging mechanism with you, or just carry the charger with you if you're going to be somewhere where you can plug in. Again, the fact that this is wireless or Qi enabled now, you can get the Pixel stand. And that has the wireless fast charging technology, so you'll be able to fast charge your device while it's on the wireless charger. It does work on other wireless charger, but my understanding is that you only get the fast charge capability from the Pixel stand. So for now, So I guess they're thinking about maybe pushing some type of update to where if there's other wireless fast chargers other than the Pixel stand, such as like my Samsung fast charger that is right here that my Note 9 is sitting on, then you will be able to fast charge your device while sitting it on this stand as well, as opposed to just the Pixel stand. So like I said, the battery life is solid. I haven't had a problem. I haven't had to, at the end of the day, I haven't had to charge this phone overnight every night. But consistently, more so than not, I did have to put the phone on the charger or set it on the wireless charger, if that makes sense. Screen on time, a lot of times I don't really get into that just because, again, it just solely depends on how you use your device. That's really going to determine the screen on time. When I'm testing these phones, I'm going hard in the paint, you know what I mean? And so I'm not gingerly using the devices. I really want to put it through its paces to see what it can handle versus, what it can't and how long it takes to really drain the battery and get it to die off. All right. Now, from 0 to 100, as far as charging, if you've got it connected to the wall adapter, you're going to get about 60 or 65% in about 30 minutes. So the fast charging works extremely fast, extremely fast. It's amazing. It's interesting, a lot of these devices that have fast charge technology, they're starting to creep up on dash charge that OnePlus offers. We know, those of you that know, that's the fastest charging on a device today, in my personal opinion. If you know a device that charges faster, let me know. But phones are getting pretty close. So the battery life is solid. Again, you should have it's a big enough cell to get you through a full day depending on usage. Me personally, I haven't had a problem. There's some nights where I only had maybe 17 or 18% left and had to throw it on the charger. Other times I had maybe 35% left. You know what I mean? So again, it just all depends on how you use your device. Now, additional features. This phone, it has a fair amount of features. One of the things, just the newness of, Android 9 Pie, and then just trying to get accustomed to the gestures and things of that nature. But I really like how smart the device is. It's very smart. There's lots of things that this phone will prompt you to do to make things easy for you. When you're text messaging, it will offer you different words based on how the conversation goes to send like quick responses, and all of these responses always seem to be relevant to the conversation at hand. I think that's pretty interesting. It kind of makes you wonder, okay, who else besides myself and the person that I'm sending these messages to is tapping in these messages, because some of it is just kind of like, like some of the suggestions is exactly what I wanted to say, and it's like, I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of scratching my head there, man. But then even like the phone calls, which the phone calls sound magnificent, by the way. Nice and clear. You can hear the person on the other end just fine. They can hear me just fine. It sounds like you're on a landline. But they have this new screen call feature where, like, if somebody calls you and it's not somebody that you want to talk to at the moment, you can screen the call, forcing it to go to voicemail. And then what it does is, and I tested it because I called this phone from another one of my many other phones, and I listened to it, and it has like as I'm leaving a voicemail, as I'm talking, every word that I'm saying is popping up sort of like it would on a text message on the screen of the Pixel 3 in real time as I'm talking. So basically, as the person is leaving a voicemail, the text is being dictated as the person is talking. So I can see, okay, if it's an unrecognized number and you hit screen the call, then as the person is leaving the message telling you who they are, what the call is about, you're reading it as they're talking. As opposed to just having to wait to, listen to a voicemail after the person gets done. You can just read the message as the person is talking. And obviously you're going to be like, oh, okay, this is somebody that I recognize or don't recognize, or take a message or call right back depending on the nature of the business. That, ladies and gentlemen, is that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. I was pretty impressed with that one. All right. Now, of course, when you lock the device, what do we have? We have always on display, which is another one of my favorite features. You see, got that on the Note 9. Well, I touched the screen, but when you put it to sleep, then there's always on display. And I like always on display because if you just want to check the time for your device, you don't have to pick up the device or anything like that. You just simply look at it and you can see the time, see the date. You can see if you've got any notifications. If you know the score, double tap on the screen. And since I've got security features on, then it asks you to unlock your device, and then it will take you to, or was supposed to have just taken me to the score app so I can check, the score from the game that was on earlier. It's advertised to work that way. Yeah, I'm a big fan of always on display. It's nice and convenient being able to just glance over at your phone to see what notifications you got or check the time, check the date. If you got any missed calls or anything like that, hey, it's just very simple. Just glance over at the phone. So those are some of my favorite features about the device. There's other things as well. There's a lot. It's a lot to cover, and I don't want this video to be too long. Another feature that I like, and we saw this on the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 2 XL, but I didn't hear a lot of people talking about it. I mean, I heard a few people talking about how cool of a feature it is, and I guess it just has a lot to do with whether or not you're really into music. Now, the phone has the ability, while it's in standby mode, if you're just somewhere and a song is playing, all you have to do is glance at your phone, and at the bottom of the screen down here, it's gonna recognize the name of that song, and it's gonna tell you what the name of the song is at the time that's playing. That's a really cool feature. Now I know that we have applications like SoundHound and other other apps that can do stuff like that. If you don't know the name of a song and you're somewhere, you can go to the app and let the app listen to the song, and it'll pop up on the screen, and there you have it. But I mean, this just kind of even alleviates that process. Now, is this going to replace those applications? No, but I think it's a cool feature. If you're just somewhere, a lot of times, music is playing and we're just so, wrapped up in what it is that we're doing at the moment. We're not quite paying attention, but as soon as we get an opportunity to slow down a little bit and just kind of woosah, just kind of free our minds, we can start hearing some of the background chatter, background noise, maybe a song playing in the background, and you find yourself thinking, damn, what is that, man? That's the cut right there, man. It's got a good little beat, or, I like the chorus, or it's got a dope little hook, or, I like the instrument or whatever, but you don't know what the song is. Well, you can just glance down at your phone and it's going to say now playing whatever the name of the song is. And then, from that point, you can like double tap on it or something like that, and it will take you somewhere to where you can download the song, whether it be Google or Apple Music or Spotify or Google Play Music or something like that. So I think that that's a really cool feature, man. And I'm huge on music. You know what I mean? I find out new songs. I find out diamonds in a rough, type of songs like that all the time. Just being out somewhere and just music playing in the background. It's like, wait, who that is? What's that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, so that's a really cool feature to have. I really like that. Just some of the features that I like mostly about this device. I mean, there's a lot to cover in that particular aspect. The phone, I mean, it does a lot. My overall final thoughts, I mean, who's this phone for, man? I mean, if you're an Android enthusiast, if you're an Android purist, and you want stock Android at its finest, with the latest operating system, then definitely the Google Pixel 3 or the Pixel 3 XL are the phones that you want to have. I mean, you've got Android 9 Pie fresh out of the box. You've got a good solid build, wireless charging, Bluetooth 5.0, NFC, wireless charging. You don't get a headphone jack, you know what I'm saying? So I do want to, mention that, because I know that some people are kind of upset about that. You do not have a headphone jack. But again, in 2018, I mean, should that really be something that you guys should be upset about? Again, we know that the 3.5 millimeter jacks are getting phased out. I think there's only 2 OEMs right now that are still using those. And I think that's LG and LG and somebody. I can't really remember right now at the moment, but it's getting phased out, man. I mean, at least the dongle comes in the box. I mean, so it's like, prepare yourself for wireless interaction, or prepare to, carry around a separate accessory. Me, I'm wireless everything pretty much. I mean, so it's not really a big deal to me. You get those dual front-facing speakers right there. Probably one of the best cameras, if not the best cameras on any smartphone. But even with all that, is it worth the price of $900? I have to say no. And the reason why I'm saying no is because of this phone right here. This phone right here is the reason I'm not keeping this. The Pixel 3 XL is going bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen. It is not staying in the lineup because pretty much everything that it does, I'm able to do on my Pocophone F1. And it just makes no sense to spend $900 for the Pixel. You know what I mean? It's $899. Even the smaller Pixel, the Pixel 3, is $799. It makes no sense to pay that kind of money when you could spend barely over $300 or $400. Okay, because I know that the Pocophone F1, it was released in India first, and that was the normal asking price was $300. But then as it migrated over to the States, then they bumped up the price a little bit, and so I think I got mine on Amazon for like $374 plus taxes, and so altogether I paid like $404 and some change. That's still a great price and a great value because this phone, the Pocophone, has all the same specs that the Pixel 3 XL has. It has the same specs, man. It has the Snapdragon 845 processor. It has 64 gigs of storage that's expandable. It has 6 gigs of RAM as opposed to 4, so it's got the Pixel beat by 2 gigs of RAM. It too has really, really, really good cameras. They may not be pixel based, right? They may not be the actual cameras on the Pixel, but geez, man, I feel like the Pixel is probably going to be one of the closest things you're going to get to an actual DSLR. But the Pocophone comes pretty damn close as well. It comes pretty damn close, man. And the photos that I've taken with this phone, oh man, they are absolutely stunning, breathtaking. So to be able to have something like this in hand, and then to get the Pixel 3 and the 3 XL. It's just like, I can't justify the price, ladies and gentlemen. I would say if you want the Pixel 3 XL, yeah, the only thing too is the Pocophone, it's not running Pie right now, but my understanding is that it is supposed to get an Android 9 Pie update. The question is when that's going to happen. So right now, the Pocophone is still running on Oreo, but that's not really a big deal to me. That's not a big deal to me at all whatsoever. And the things that the Pixel has over the Pocophone, is it worth the price difference? Is it worth over $400? Is the Pixel 3 XL $400 plus better than the Pocophone? That's what you need to ask yourself. I'm not saying the Pixel 3 XL is not a bad phone. It's a great phone. And if you want to get it, get it. You're definitely going to be, just on the scale of smartphone dopeness. Yeah, if you got a Pixel 3 or Pixel 3 XL, you're right up there. You're right up there. You know what I'm saying? You're in a crowd and everybody's got their iPhones and whatever other phones they got. Then you pull your Pixel 3 or your 3 XL out your pocket. Man, you're right there, part of the conversation. Especially when you start snapping them photos. But I just can't justify the price, ladies and gentlemen. And another thing too, I'm not really a big fan of the gestures, man. I get it. I get why they're doing it, but again, it's just like, man, Android, they've got their own thing going on. They've been known for having that navigation key at the bottom, giving us the option to have those buttons. The fact that you don't even have the option to turn those things on this device, I feel like they're just trying to go a little bit more towards what Apple is doing. And it's just like, no idea is original. Stay true to what you do. You know what I mean? So that's just my take on it, ladies and gentlemen. But overall, is it a good device? Absolutely, it's a good device. I just don't think that it's worth the price. If it was a couple $100 less, then hey, maybe I'd still be saying what I'm saying because after paying what I paid for this, and it has the same specs, and it also has dual speakers, great cameras, man, big battery that lasts all day, Bluetooth 5.0. It doesn't have NFC. So that may be one thing that some people may knock it on. But I mean, if you don't do mobile payments and transfer data through NFC, who cares? Right? Who cares if it doesn't have NFC? Just paid $400 for all the 2018 specs. Man, the Poco phone is the every phone killer, man. Save your money, ladies and gentlemen, man. Get yourself a Poco phone. You know what I mean? Alright, so that's it, man. For the full Pristine review for the Google Pixel XL. If you like this video, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to expose yourself to tons of more videos that I've done like this one. And definitely keep it locked at Pristine Mobile Tech because I've got so much more content to come. Be sure to hit that notification bell so that every time my videos go live, all of you, yes, and you, can be the first to view the video. Drop your comments, questions, anything that I may have missed that you guys want me to cover. Hit me up in the comments. And I'll do what? I'll do my best to accommodate you guys. So as always, close the video out with the trademark. Please stay safe. Get spiritually fit. We are definitely living in the last days in 2018. And always remember, God is always ready to start over. He's not the God of second chances. He's the God of next chances. Why? Because second chance, we used that a long time ago. We'd have been gone if it was just based on a second chance. He's the God of next chances. Remember that. All right? And keep it pristine, man, in everything that you guys do. I'll catch you on the next video. This is the Google Pixel 3 XL. I'm your man, Pristine, bringing you the content. We out. Peace.